I'm slowly learning that even if I react, it won't change anything. It won't make people suddenly love and respect me. It won't magically change their minds. Sometimes it's better to just let things be. Let people go. Don't fight for closure. Don't ask for explanations. Don't chase answers, and don't expect people to understand where you're coming from. I'm slowly learning that life is better lived when you don't center it on what's happening around you, and center it on what's happening inside you instead. Work on yourself and your inner peace.
I know what it feels like to not be able to sleep, not be able to eat because you're hurting, constantly have one person on your mind, not be able to get no work done, not be able to do nothing. It hurt, you know what I mean? I don't think nobody deserves to feel like that.
Be careful with people who have high-functioning depression. They wake up every morning, put on a smile, and go through the day like everything's fine. They make jokes, help others, and look like they have it all together. But deep down, something feels heavy, something no one sees. They laugh in public, but cry in silence when the lights go out. They say they're tired, but it's not just their body, it's their mind too. They keep themselves busy, not because they love what they do, but because being still means facing thoughts that hurt too much. High-functioning depression doesn't always look sad. Sometimes it looks like success, kindness, or strength. But behind that strength, there's someone holding everything together with shaking hands. So please, check on the ones who always seem okay. The ones who never complain, the ones who make everyone else smile. They might be fighting battles that nobody knows about. A message, a hug, or a simple, "Are you really okay?" can mean more than you think. Sometimes that's all it takes to help someone hold on for one more day. Even the strongest hearts get tired sometimes. Don't wait until silence becomes their only cry for help.
I have a big heart, and sometimes I hate it, because it means I care even when I shouldn't. Like, I'll check in on people who forgot I exist. I'll hold space for people who never asked how I'm doing. And I don't know. I overthink everything, even the silence. I'll apologize just to keep the peace. Forgive too fast, just so it doesn't hurt as long. Sometimes I feel guilty for stuff that isn't even mine to carry, and it makes me feel alone in a way I can't really explain. Like I'm scared I'll never find someone who loves like I do, fully, deeply, all in, but still, I don't want to be any other way, even if it hurts sometimes.
You ever notice how you start distancing yourself from everyone when life feels heavy? You stop replying, stop talking, and tell yourself you just need space. But deep down, you're not avoiding people, you're avoiding being misunderstood. Psychology calls this emotional withdrawal. A defense mechanism your mind uses when it feels unsafe or overwhelmed. It's your brain's way of saying, I need to protect myself before I can connect again. But here's the thing. Isolation can trick you into thinking no one cares, when in reality, people just don't know how to reach you. You start confusing peace with loneliness and numbness with healing. But healing doesn't always happen in silence. Sometimes it happens when you let yourself be seen again. This shows you're not cold or distant. You're someone who's been strong for too long, finally learning it's okay to let people in.
The best thing I ever decided to do was just be quiet. I have nothing to say. I'm not convincing anybody that I'm a great person, and I'm not trying to fix anything I didn't break. I'm not fighting for anyone to see my worth. Whatever you do is on you. You better hope you don't regret it. In my silence, I found peace, no longer bound by the need to prove myself or to mend what wasn't mine to fix. I discovered a new kind of strength. It's a quiet strength, born from knowing my value doesn't hinge on anyone else's recognition. I've let go of the exhausting pursuit of validation and embraced the serenity that comes with self-acceptance. I could finally see that my worth has always been there, independent of others' opinions. Those who see my value and respect it are welcome in my world. Those who don't can carry on their way, and if they come to regret their choices, that's their journey, not mine.
According to psychology, people who overanalyze everything and get too attached tend to make their mood completely depend on how they are treated by the person they love. It's not that they want to, they simply don't know how to love halfway. They are the kind of people who notice when a message takes longer than usual, when the reply feels colder, when the good morning text no longer arrives. And even if no one notices, their mind starts creating stories that don't exist. They think something changed, that they did something wrong, and suddenly their day turns gray. They find it hard to let go, because when they care about someone, they give everything. And that's why when they feel that person drifting away, they feel like their world is falling apart. It's not drama, it's fear of feeling empty again. Psychology says that those who love like this are not weak. They just have a heart that feels more than it should. And yes, maybe they get hurt easily, but they're also the ones who value the small details the most, who love unconditionally, and who just want someone to stay without having to beg for it.
I think I am the kind of person who people fall in love with too quickly. And I don't mean to complain because it is wonderful to be loved. But I am also the kind of person who people walk away from when they realize the beautiful pool of water that they wandered into is actually an ocean with too many questions. I wish my company didn't make people feel like they're drowning. Mystery draws them in, then mystery makes them leave.
Why some people suddenly become calm after moments of acting out, crying intensely, or feeling overwhelmed. For many, that shift isn't confusion, it's emotional exhaustion. When someone reaches a breaking point, their body and mind release everything they've been holding in: anger, sadness, fear, frustration. Once that storm empties out, what's left is a deep, quiet stillness. Some people don't calm down because they're fine. They calm down because they've run out of strength to keep fighting their feelings. The sudden calm becomes a protective state, a way for their mind to shut down the chaos and create space to breathe again. Others slip into calmness because expressing their emotions finally removes the weight they've been carrying alone. It's the body's natural response to overwhelm, a reset, not a recovery. Behind that silence, there's often a heart still hurting, a mind still processing, and a person trying to gather themselves enough to keep going.
Think about how horrified the people we love would be if they found out who we truly are. So we just dig ourselves deeper into our lies every day, ultimately hurting the only people brave enough to love us. Wish I didn't do that. Wish I was brave enough to love them back. I don't know. Maybe you should try it. We don't have as much time as we think.
According to psychology, people who go silent when something upsets or hurts them are often using a coping mechanism called emotional withdrawal. It's not that they have nothing to say. It's that somewhere along the way they learned silence feels safer than being misunderstood. Instead of exploding outward with anger or frustration, they turn inward. They have entire conversations in their head, explaining exactly how they feel with perfect clarity. But when the moment comes to speak, the words get stuck, so they stay quiet. Psychologists call this internalized emotional regulation, the habit of handling pain privately, even if it costs them deeper connection. And over time, it stops being a choice. It becomes second nature. People label them shy, distant, or introverted. But what they really are is guarded. And what they really need is someone who notices their silence, understands it, and chooses to stay close anyway. This is why some people never tell others what they are feeling. Every single time they tried explaining to you what they felt or what they were overthinking about, you just thought they were trying to start an argument, when all they wanted was for you to understand what they were feeling. The loneliest people are the kindest. The saddest people smile the brightest. The most damaged people are the wisest. All because they don't wish to see anyone else suffer the way they did.
Biologically, men don't have cramps or periods, but they do have days when their minds destroy them. This happens after years of holding in things no one ever sees. He wakes up thinking about the bills, works thinking about the family's problems, and goes to bed thinking about what he needs to solve tomorrow. He pushes himself constantly to be the support of the family and never slows down, because he learned that collapsing only delays what needs to be done. But the brain eventually sends the bill. It stores every worry he doesn't have time to feel, every argument he swallows, every fear he won't admit, every responsibility he carries alone. All of this builds up in silence until the day his mind tightens around his chest, as if to say, now you're going to stop, whether you like it or not, and that day is cruel. Nothing feels enough. Everything irritates him. His body feels heavy, his head foggy. It's not weakness, it's the collapse of a system that was strong for too long until it finally broke on the inside. The tragedy is that almost no one notices because on the outside he's still functioning. But on the inside, he's fighting his own mind.
Me? Go right ahead if it makes you feel any better. I'm an easy target. Yeah, you're right. I talk too much. I also listen too much. I could be a cold-hearted cynic like you, but I don't like to hurt people's feelings. When you think what you want about me, I'm not changing. I like me. My kids like me. My friends like me. Because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get.
Maybe the happy ending is you continuing to be the soft, loving person that you are, despite the way the world has tried to defeat you. Maybe it is a calm nervous system, a peacefulness that cannot be threatened. Maybe the happy ending is you moving on, is you giving yourself the love you never got, but always wanted. Maybe the happy ending is you embracing change, is you going in the direction of the things that grow you and move you and magnate your spirit.
Why some people get silent when they're sad. For many, sadness doesn't always sound like crying or shouting. Sometimes it's quiet. Silence becomes their way of coping, a language for emotions too deep to translate into words. They don't go silent because they don't care. They do it to hold themselves together when everything inside feels like it's falling apart. Speaking might make the pain too real or open wounds they're not ready to face. Some have learned that when they share their sadness, they're ignored, misunderstood, or told to move on, so they retreat inward, choosing silence as protection. Others simply lack the energy to explain what hurts. Their quiet isn't emptiness, it's reflection, healing, and restraint. Behind that stillness often lives a storm of emotion, unseen but deeply felt. Sometimes silence is not about shutting people out, but about finding safety in stillness, until the heart feels strong enough to speak again.
Have you ever felt tired, not in your body, but in your heart? According to psychology, this is called emotional burnout. It happens when you give too much, care too much, and stay strong for too long. You stop feeling excited. You stop reacting. You just feel empty. People think you're fine because you still smile, but inside you're exhausted, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Psychology says emotional burnout happens when your heart carries more than it can hold. Too much stress, too many responsibilities, too many unspoken feelings. And the worst part? You don't notice it happening until one day you feel nothing at all.